on to Geek Thulu, of all people. Now, we've had our encounters with Geek Thulu this week. We're not going to waste too much time on Geek Thulu, but he was a part of your life. Honestly, did the late-night crying calls to Geek really happen? Is it like he said you would call him up in the night, hyperventilating, crying to him? Is that true?
Yeah, there were some times where I was in a rough spot, and I would, like, confide in him, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a false thing that he has said. Is it funny? I guess, you know, my ruined life. Like, sure, I guess, you know? But, yeah, I mean...
Yeah. Well, how was the partnership with Geek overall? How do you think it went?
I liked him, like, honestly, like, I met him through, GTA RP, where they, like, Grand Theft Auto roleplay. And I had a gang called the Valentines. And he joined it, and I actually called him by his name in the game for like a year. Sal Valentine.
Let's go.
But, you know, a lot of people didn't like Geek.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what about you? What did you, like, I know this is an interview, but what did you think about him? Like, what did you think?
I honestly thought he was an untalented coattail riding hack myself. And I thought he was an emotionally manipulative little F-slur. For sure.
Wow. Hindsight's 2020.
You know.
Is
he as annoying as he sounds on the streams, Andy?
Like, what's the annoying part? Like,
I don't know. He just sounds like he'd be a really annoying guy.
You know. Like, hey, what's up, man? Life's tough. You know, like literally everything was like...
No.
You would think this guy was going through some tragedy every day.
Damn, his life is in agony, is torment. Oh.
Yo, what's up, bud?
Well...
Like...
Did he really do all the work, like he said, Andy? Did he do all the work?
In what work?
Well, I don't actually know anything he ever did.
Like, what work are we talking about?
I don't know. Like, he's always says that, like, he did all the work, you were lazy, you didn't do subcultured, you didn't do...
I did, though.
Well...
Like there's evidence against every claim. Like, that I didn't do work. In fact, that's the reason why... So, can I just tell the story of subculture?
Sure, go ahead.
Because it's part of the questions, anyway. So, a few years ago... You know, him and I think... Okay, so a few years ago, we thought of this show called Subculture. And the idea of this show was sort of like a reality show where it would be... You film like a whole segment, it'd be like 40-minute documentary style, like HBO, fucking whatever. But the subculture would be of like the Hells Angels, cultists, you know, like, and then you're living a day in the life of these people that you're watching. And you get permission to film from them and stuff. So that was like the reality show idea. Now, never came to fruition. But when I came back from America, he was like, let's do some normie stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know, like some red letter media.
Yeah.
Do subculture. So I do 7-8 videos, okay? It's called Game Anatomy. It's like this full documentary. I played the game, to capture the footage, like tons of hours put into this, and he didn't help out. Now, Kyler was messaging. He wanted to be put into this group, Subculture. But Geek and I talked about it. And Kyler, you know, he says, you know, the N-word, he's on the right, might not be good for the normie channel. Maybe not, like, don't bring him in, okay? But Geek's not helping for weeks and weeks and weeks as I'm making video after video after video. He doesn't help at all. So finally, Kyler's like, I have a script. Like, do you want to do it or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? So was it a dick move? I didn't ask Geek or tell Geek, hey, But it's like 7 videos later, you haven't even been calling me. And I'm making these videos. Yeah. Are you even part of Subcultured? It's been like 6 months. Right? And then he says, I stole Subcultured. But what happened was, he quit Subcultured. It's in front of tons of people. Failure, Spike, Sherman, other people who heard this in the call. He's like, I quit. I quit Subcultured because you brought Kyler into this. Fine.
There we go. What do you think of this farewell stream? He's quit the internet. Do you think he'll be back?
Yeah. This is not.
This isn't the last ride of Geek Thulu?
No, he'll be back.
He'll be back in his 50s and 60s.
He was in the chat. Like, we covered that. Yeah. And he was in the chat. Like, the farewell is not only by email now, because now we can contact you in the chat, you know?
Yeah. So, now that we've gone through all the co-hosts of Warski, all of them, who was your favorite co-host?
Honestly, they all had good moments.
But who was your favorite? Like, who do you think it was, like, the best with? You know what I mean?
I don't know. That's I can't answer that.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's more of like that's like splitting your life up into like different sections completely. Like your life wouldn't be whole with any of these pieces because they were very like similar in length.
Yeah,
you know.
You wouldn't say it would be Chris.
Chris was who was the best one? I would say Chris. Yes, I would say Chris. In terms of like comedy, like value,
yeah,
you know, and production value. Like I would say, Chris.
Yeah. Like of all of them, who did the most work? Like who would put in the most work?
Chris
would put in the most work. Yeah. Who put in the least work?
Not JF. So, who's the last guy?
Geek Thulu?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I don't mean to be a dick about it.
He put in the least work.
Well, he was complaining.
So,
anyway, go ahead.
Look, this is a question. Do you do work for the show? Like, do you do prep work for the show? Or do you just show up? Like, a lot of people say, Andy rolls out of bed. His shows are made up for him by the co-host.
No.
No, you do prep work?
I do a lot of prep work.
Yeah?
I think I do a lot of prep work, yeah. Like, I fill out the show links. I plan everything. Like, I take Twisted Mind very seriously. It's, by the way, odyssey.com/subcultured, dlive.tv/subcultured. We do sort of like a full show, like the first 2 hours on DLive. A bit censored, but it's still funny. The last 2 hours only on Odyssey, and we go off. But no, I don't sleep on the show. No.
Okay.
Because honestly, I really like what we do there. It's so fun. Like the show Twisted Mind rules. It's so good. I love this show. I'm glad I'm the host, so I can get to enjoy every episode. Now, some episodes, it's like 4 to 5 hours each. Some episodes, it's sort of like we're looking for, it's two guys chilling and searching for the gold, the craziness in this world. And really, it's not hard to find now.
Yeah.
We always specify each target. So, like, one day it'll be, like, Quentin Reviews. One day will be Jim Sterling. But, yeah.
Well, moving along to somebody almost equally as abominable as Jim Sterling, let's talk about T-Clips. Amber Jeffries, Boober Lee, whatever you want to call her, the sea creature from the deep. Andy, simple question. Why was T-Clips in your business and everyone's business?
So T-Clips, the clip channels for some reason had a stranglehold, right? At that time, you have to admit, every like clip channel sort of had this like feeling, we are helping you. We are the reason you're getting even views. So Booberly kept that, like, you know, she took that to heart, you know?
But she's doing you a big favor by clipping your stuff.
Oh, dude, everyone, yeah. But, you know, she, I remember I got, you know, like, I was drunk one night.
Yeah.
Did some, like, let's see your tits, let's fucking go. That happened at one point. And then she tried exposing it and stuff and going,
Well, did she show her tits?
No.
She didn't show her tits.
So even the attempt was like fucking felted, you know? I was felted,
well,
guys.
was it that she slipped into your DMs, Andy, or did you go into her DMs first?
I think it was sort of like she messaged me and then sort of like, you know, you see the pictures, the thumbnail. It's cleavage. And you get felted.
Yeah.
It happens, you know? But then I was like, okay, this is not working out, you know? There's no tit pics coming in. We're not getting anywhere with this at all. I'm going to ignore this. But then fucking Boober Lee. Whoa, buddy. Vendetta against me.
Forever, because you turned her down.
Messaging Chris, looking for some, like, shenanigans behind the scenes. Messaging Sinead. Trying to get, like, bro, getting fucking felted, like, DM'd. Like, yo, get out of here, Amber.
Like,
you
you
stupid bitch.
didn't want anything to do with her, really.
You're a clip channel.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, she thought she runs it. Andy, why does everyone protect her? Is it like cloud? Is it they're like simping for her because she's a woman?
Are they though? You know?
Is there anyone who actually is simping for her?
The metrics make no sense. The metrics are fucking being, they're being fucking, you know, hacked.
And one final question, because we shouldn't spend any time really on this person, but how many people in this area has she fucked or she's tried to fuck? Can you think of anybody else that she's like tried to get into their DMs and have sex with them?
You know, like, we could talk about that, but then we'd have no time for any other questions or...
Because it's basically everybody.
There's so many people... I have a better conversation. Who hasn't she fucked? You know, like we'd be done in like 5 minutes.
Fair enough. Okay, it's time to move on to an area that of this conversation that's somewhat more serious. Andy, I want you to walk me through the night of what's called aim. So walk me through that night, kind of what your mindset was going into it, and kind of what happened.
So the aim thing, I'll say this. The having a gun by your side thing was always on the top of my mind. Because Alex, who I was hanging out with, he was always like, we always have a gun. You know, like, you got your defense for this IRL stuff. So it was always in the back of my mind, we'll never get fucked with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I will say that. And that's a very, like, fucked up thing, like thing to have in your mind. It's like, oh, you're going to use a gun against someone if you can't handle it, you fucking bitch. That's how I think about it now. But back then, I didn't have that thought, and I regret that thought. So during that night, when those guys, it was like, I guess we had some nigger dono playing.
Right.
Ducktail. Bonkin. Life is like a nigger. You know, you're walking down. I think AP donated something where it was like a Warski. Mandy Warski night. And it was just whatever.
Yeah.
So it's playing this shit, and some guy in like a tight white shirt, and everyone's seen it.
Yeah.
Walks up, fucking rest is history. We end up like leaving, I guess, and I guess Failure wanted to walk back to give money to that Q guy. Remember there was a Q guy? But then that led us to run into that guy in the white shirt again. So the guy in the white shirt I didn't mention, he was mad that we had N-word songs playing. Fair enough. I mean, like, you're racist piece of shit, motherfuckers. And then he showed up. He goes, like, Failures, we have to pay that guy, the Q guy. I think it's not a bad idea. Throw him $10. We walk back. That fucking first guy's there. And he starts coming at us. And in my mind, I'm like, fuck this guy. We got a gun. Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
You know, I did use the gun in my mind as like a reassurance, nothing bad will happen. Is that, like, what do you think of that?
Well, wouldn't using
I'm
using
thinking of
the
this
gun
now.
be a
I'm
bad
thinking of this
thing
now, you know?
that happened?
Huh?
Like, if the gun was to be used, wouldn't that be a bad thing that you've had to use a gun to take somebody's life?
Yeah, but I guess my thought was, are we doing something bad enough that you're going to force us to have to defend ourselves?
Yeah. It's just that you could have fist fought these guys at any time. You had done MMA training for 3 months. Why didn't you just fist fight them?
Because fist fighting in my mind was like, you can get arrested for it.
But pulling the gun, you didn't think you could get arrested.
Well, I didn't pull the gun, so...
You're right, you did not pull the gun.
Aim,
You
motherfucker,
just
let's
told him to
fucking go.
aim. Did you? I think you also told
You
him
know?
though, to shoot.
No.
You didn't? Who said shoot? It was Failure that
That was
said
Failure
shoot?
said shoot.
Failure said shoot.
Failure was like, shoot. Yo, I said aim, and my thought with aim, okay, guys, chat. Commenters.
Yeah.
Whatever this is. When we were in that situation, so he's following us. And I'm like, this is getting serious. And in my mind, I'm like, gun. This is like it. You know? You know that phrase, Chekhov's gun? What is it?
Yeah, it's set up as Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun, the setup's there. This is the fucking, let's
This
bring
is
it
the
out.
payoff, yeah.
This is the payoff. Aim.
Yeah.
And then I aimed the fucking camera.
You aimed the camera. You told me this earlier.
I bent down like this. And in my mind, like, honestly...
You were trying to get the perfect shot.
It was just, like, in my mind, I was delusional. You're
Were
like,
you seeing dollar signs?
No. It's just, everyone's probably loving this. The internet's probably dying for this footage. Like,
Yeah.
fuck the money. Like, there was no money in that thought at all.
You just thought, this is going to go viral. This is going to be...
Not even viral. It's just like, this is so, like, crazy. Like, where are you going to see this?
Well, I know.
It was like painting a fucking picture that no one's ever painted before. And you're like, look at this. And then the whole fucking, we called the cops thing.
Yeah.
So
So why did you decide, after pulling a gun on them, to call the cops?
Absolute retardation.
There was just...
Absolute.
You thought that they should be punished because they were coming after you, sort of thing?
I should have been like, okay, let's move on. Like, I should have. But I'm happy with what happened because no one got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Alex was bailed out in a day.
Yep.
And no charges were put on him at all.
So in the end, all the charges against Alex got
It was
dropped.
like a nothing thing.
Yeah. And then in terms of his bail...
Yeah.
He wasn't out of pocket. How did that turn out? You paid half of it?
I paid half and his mom paid half.
His mom paid half. So his mom was out a bit of money. But other than that, everybody was safe.
It was like $2,000 each, I think.
2,000 each.
2,000 each, yeah. And
because there's a question here.
And we thought though it would be funny because this is why the next stream was so, like, fucking crazy, was because we didn't think it was that serious. That's how Aim was, like, in our mind, it was, like, nothing crazy. Because the next stream was, we bailed Alex out, but no one knew. So we thought it would be funny if we started a stream, and it's like a regular sleep stream.
Yeah.
But it was just me and failure. And then I start sleeping in Alex's bed. And everyone thinks Alex is in jail. So the chat's going like, Andy, are you fucking nuts? You fucking got this guy arrested by yelling aim in this. But it was fine. Like, there was no, like, repercussions. The Medicare stream is what really turned that into like a nothing burger
into being something big. The real
morality.
The real repercussion was getting the Medicare stream, really.
Yeah, yes.
Because whatever Jim said was basically law at that point in time in the particular sphere. Would you have been willing to see someone get hurt if it meant that you would have got a significant amount of donations at that time? If it would have pulled you out of the financial slump you were in? Would it have really mattered to you if somebody got tased or shot or beat up?
I'm so happy no one has. And there was nothing in my heart at that point where I ever wanted anyone to actually be hurt.
But would you have let it happen if it meant that you would have got donations, you would have had successful streams at that time?
No.
No, you would have tried your best to stop that.
It would have, I think, shook me to a point of, like, what aim shook me at. You
say that was rock bottom, right? That was...
Like, no one was hurt. Like, the fact that I always thought crazy shit happening was fun. But aim was when it was really fucked.
Yeah.
And someone almost got... Like, I was even thinking... I remember my thought was, if we shot someone on the street on camera, like, that's fucked up. Like, I remember just going... Thank God there's not footage of you murdering someone on the street on camera. Like, you got lucky, Andy.
Yeah.
IRL, I fear IRL now. Look, if you do IRL, have fun, God bless.
Here's the thing. Andy has learned his lesson in a way because we've wanted to go out and do IRL this week, but we know we can't because it's unsafe. It's not something that people really should do. You can do it a few times maybe and get away with it, but it's like playing Russian roulette, right? Eventually you will get burned going out with text-to-speech speakers on, doing IRL. And as much as people might be entertained by that, we have to draw a line somewhere for our safety and the public's safety. And that we could have made money this week doing stuff like that. We chose not to, right, Andy?
Look, the thought of money is always good. But if you're doing something that makes you happy and you're able to pay the bills, whether it be pay rent or pay for food.
Yeah.
If you're going to be selfish and want more, and you're going to risk the well-being of yourself, or God forbid, you murdering someone and hurting someone, it's not worth it. IRL, like Kyler, my co-host, does IRL. He does it in, like, the safest version of, like, IRL, but I still watch out and go, like, please don't get, But he's doing it good. But I was doing it in, like, are you ready for the N-word with all these people around us? And it was just, like, this fucking crazy shit. It was crazy. It was crazy.
What do you think about Nick Rekieta? He said what you did there was justified with the AIM stream. What do you think about that?
Well, I think, like, what I did there was, like using loopholes to get the law on my side.
Right.
Right?
So by the letter of the law, you might have been innocent, like Nick said, but really, by the spirit of things, you know, it was wrong.
And I'm glad I stayed within the legal, like, realms of what I did. But I appreciate what he has done.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at it as a lawyer. And he is correct. He is correct.
Yeah, because Alex did get off on there was no charges. They were dropped, right?
Yes, everything.
Yeah.
Completely was, yeah.
Now, do you think that the backlash that you got from this was justified? Everybody's reaction to it? Or do you think people should have, you know, let it go, recognized the situation you were in, it was a tough position, and forgiven you at that time? What do you think?
Well, to be honest, the backlash was the most intense thing I ever had to deal with. It was beyond what was justified.
You think so?
Especially after a certain point, it's like, I get it. Like, you know, now I don't give a fuck. Because now I know how to deal with these people. Yeah. But for me, it's like, aim, or whatever, it's like, I get it. Like, after 2.5, 3 years of this shit. And it's not, oh, it was once in a blue moon. It's like every day.
Every day somebody says something.
Every day, but it's like not one. It's like, holy fuck. At a certain point, it was just block.
Do you feel a little bit disappointed in Jim that he didn't just maybe tweet that it was silly, but he went to the extent of doing a full stream on it and really put you on blast? Do you feel a little disappointed in him? Because you worked with him for a lot of shows. Yeah, you know, he was cool to me for a long time. After the Tonka speech, I said the Tonka speech, remember? I remember.
After Tonka didn't show up and I said the speech, as I walked out, I remember the first DM I got was from Jim. And it said, like, good job, man. Like, yeah. He was so cool. I was, like, felted by him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, ever since that time, I don't look at him the same way as I used to.
Yeah.
It was like we had such history for years.
And it's interesting.
It was so fucking, like, I get it. I fucked up.
Yeah.
But you're gonna, like, that was, like, beyond a fucking smothering. It's
interesting how he picks and chooses who will receive punishment, right?
I don't know.
Because we have a dear mensch who had all sorts of embarrassing things happen. But our father, Jim, never said a thing. And I always find it interesting that he did a stro on you, but chose not to for Dick Masterson on the simp stuff, chose not to with Ethan Ralph. That's just a point I want to make. Why did you stay away the amount of time you did? Because you've always been active online. You've always had a strong presence day after day after day making videos. Why did you take such a long break after the AIM thing?
I thought after the AIM thing, it was over.
Really?
I made it back to Canada, and I was ready to be an Uber driver for the rest of my life.
Wow. You thought that was it?
I was like, this is the life I have chosen. This is the life. This is my punishment for the craziness. And I was I had acceptance of it. And then it was like, oh, dude. For 3-4 months, dude, I was like suicidal. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was like, it's over.
Walk me through what a typical day would have been like for you. Because a lot of people don't understand what you've gone through since then. Because they saw that, they shit on you for it, and there were consequences to that for you, right?
Yeah.
What was your day-to-day like? Were you sleeping all hours of the day? Did you
Yeah.
have the energy to get up and do stuff?
Well, I'll tell you. Okay, so my first idea was to get back into Uber. Okay,
Yeah.
but at that point, I hadn't been paying for my car insurance before, right? Because it was like the drugs and like abandoning Canada. Like, I let all my credit go to shit, basically, right? You know, that's what you do when you're a fucking druggie. So I make it back, and the only hope I have is I could drive.
Yeah.
Good driver. So let's get the fucking Uber going. Insurance is taking forever. I'm getting some fucking, like, you know, girl stuff, right, during this moment. It's happening. Shit's getting stressful. I'm going, it's over. Because everything that was happening at that moment was just like a slap in the face, slap in the face, slap. It's like, there's no climbing out of this fucking hole.
Yeah, man.
So there was no even thought with the internet. It was just block anyone who had anything to say. Like, you ban everyone. Yes, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to fucking hear you. Because I'm in my, you don't know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm dealing with. And I remember finally the insurance is not going through. And I'm watching anime on Netflix. My parents, too, I'm living with my parents at this point. And they're just like, they understand my plight. I've already expressed it. Shit's rough right now. I'm so sorry. Like, I fucked up. And they would see me just watching anime and speed running. That's all I've watched. Speed running and anime just all day. And I started, like, thinking about these, like, thoughts of, like, jumping off the balcony.
Yeah.
And that's when it got, like, scary. Because it became, like, this, like, relief whenever I would think about it. And, you know, whenever I would try to peek out online, it'd be like, hey, man, you fuck you, faggot, you know? Like, this rough shit. And it was just like, you can't even, like, peek out for a second.
No, you know.
And then finally is when I went, here's my thing. Like, I remember, I forgot what it was exactly, but I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go live and just do, like, game streams and speedrun and be a fucking, like, then, like, just talk. And anyone trying to fuck with me, just ban them.
Yep.
Fuck you ban people, you're banned for saying that. It was like the cult,
Yeah.
but just, like 10 times.
Dialed to 11, like the old cult thing, yeah.
We did that, and then I just built up from there.
Yeah.
Built up from there.
So, before we have the same it happened was it in Miami or was it Tampa? What city was it?
That was in Clearwater, Tampa.
Clearwater, Tampa.
Tampa,
It was
yeah.
Tampa. So before that, the whole reason you were in Florida to begin with was to do like IRL. You were going to do, what was it? It was like a fundraiser. You did a campaign, right?
Oh, wait, for me and Ralph?
Yeah.
We did a $5,000. It was supposed to be a show, like a reality show type thing.
Yeah.
We raised $5,000. We did the Miami stuff, and then all that happened. Now, here's the thing I want to, like, a misconception that you have said before.
Yes.
But people said, we got away with $5,000, blah, blah, blah. I refunded all that money. In fact, that was part of, like, me returning back to Mississauga and being, like, in misery because I was, like, minus, like...
$5,000.
Yeah.
Now, that $5,000, that came directly out of your account. You refunded it to everybody who contributed.
Yes. And also Ralph got fucked over a little bit, too, on the hotel.
Well, because
I was supposed to pay him some from that, and he paid for, like, $800 or $1,000 of the hotel or something.
Yeah.
So, like, just to add in, Ralph did get fucked over on that.
Because he didn't pay you any of the $5,000 refund fees.
No.
Right. Why is it? Because why wouldn't Ralph do streams in Miami? What was it that caused it to not work?
I don't know. Like...
Well, it's in your hand right now, isn't it?
No, I'm not gonna go there though.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why you were out $5,000, Andy, and it's in your hand. It's alcohol, right?
Yeah, but like, why would I? You know?
Well, I get it, but that's why, right? Look, I want to just briefly touch on one thing because people asked about this a lot. What was up with that pay pig who threw the ice? Who the fuck is that guy?
Dump the ice. There was this Asian guy. I can't remember his name, but he came out and he was like throwing dollars down. Like it was like buying like drinks and shit. I think he bought like I remember he paying like $100 at the bar.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was paying some shit. But my thought was like, oh, like Ralph's fucked up. He's drunk. Let's throw ice on him.
Yeah.
So we bought some ice, and then that whole situation happened.
How much did he pay to do it?
I can't remember. That.
Did he get his money back?
Who?
The fan, the pay pig.
I don't know.
He was just like irrelevant, you know.
I honestly can't. Like, I
is
wish.
It his biggest life achievement that he threw the ice at Ralph?
I don't know where he. Like, I have no clue. There is no part of my brain that entertains this part.
Well, this is like the speculation is like it's rife, Andy. There's a lot of speculation about this pay pig. Like, did he get this money back? Did he throw the ice? And like, ultimately, like, why did he throw like a solid block of ice at his head? Why didn't he open
he was like
the
a
ice?
phantom. He was like a phantom. He came in. It was like a ghost.
Fuck.
He came in. I remember even because in my mind, you throw the ice, it means open the ice bag.
Yeah.
And he threw the fucking like straight frozen block of ice. I get why Ralph was mad.
Yeah.
Like Ralph has pure like.
Well, you know, I get it because if the ice was like
imagine
not a solid block
when you're sleeping, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, I know, but it's like a kind of like a dorm room fucking prank. It was IRL and shit like that. But the thing was, like, it shouldn't have been a solid fucking block of ice. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have been a solid block of ice.
No, not at all.
Oh, man. Look, a lot of people in the audience felt like they were taken advantage of, that they got ripped off, they didn't get the content that they deserved. Do you feel like they're right about that with Miami, or do you think that they weren't taken advantage of in that way? Because you did refund the money.
Well, I did refund the money, so it was sort of like an apology for the failure of it. And yeah, no, it sucks. It sucks. You know, believe me, guys, in my mind, doing something like a Miami trip where, like, the skits and the fucking funny screams and shit happen would be such a, like, pleasure to have, like, a memory of. And the intention was to do that, and it didn't happen, and it ended up being some crazy drama shit, which was interesting in its whole other way, you know?
Yeah.
Right, with the whole fallout at the end there. Remember at the hotel?
Well,
it was like fucking, what was that movie called with fucking Bruce Willis? Die Hard. Like, there was like a Die Hard fucking IRL, you know?
Well, you're talking about in the hotel in Miami with Ralph and, like, the final moments where...
It was like a boss battle. Ralph was like a boss battle.
I'm gonna wreck it!
Dude, we need to just tell him to leave. To get him to leave. Dude, wait, come on. Come on. Andrew, breathe.
No.
Breathe.
Nothing about me.
Truth, man.
Well, I'm gonna get him out of there. I'm gonna kill him.
No.
He fucking threatened me.
Get in there.
Guys, come on.
What's wrong with you?
Come on. And just calm down, man.
Fucking leave me alone.
And now I have to, I guess, jump on a fucking train and start traveling, be a fucking homeless fucking person traveling around fucking America.
All right, let's talk about what happened last night. So, okay, you got drunk, and you could tell people like, that's what you remember, and we'll talk. Let's just talk it over.
So, I'd had a few drinks, and I laid down and went to sleep like you normally do. And somebody threw a shit ton of ice on me, and I woke up and I was like, "What the fuck?"
No.
And I wasn't even mad about the ice, but then people were like, "Oh, Failure and Andy are on stream talking shit about you." So I went in there. I tried to talk to you about it. I shut the door behind myself. I was like, let's talk about it. And then...
No, you don't remember though, you went like this. You want to fight. You want to go. Twice. Now, what me and Philly were quote unquote talking shit about, all we were saying was we were disappointed, we were pissed off, was the fact that if it was really shooting and stuff, and you got so drunk that you weren't able to even
I was
stay
on South
awake.
Beach.
You left. Because
We were at a different place.
the alcohol.
But it was different for me.
The alcohol that you intake made you make poor decisions.
I'm not taking the blame for all that, no. Because
You're the one, you take full blame because you were drunk and someone said happy hour and you went in there. That was you, 100% you. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
You were fucking hammered. You made an ass of yourself. Then we're talking shit about
Dude,
you.
you were laying on the floor screaming like you were having a fucking panic attack, like you were getting raped.
You put your hands up, you wanted to fight me, and you locked the
Like,
door.
you literally laid on the floor and started screaming and kicking and
Because
screaming. Like
I was
you were
gonna knock
having
you
some
out.
type of
Because I was gonna
flashback.
fucking knock you out.
You weren't gonna do shit.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't.
Because you put your hands up, I had to defend
I didn't
myself
know
off of you.
You
Because
were
you were
laying on
hammered.
the floor screaming like a little girl.
Yeah, well, you were being an asshole, drunk,
So you're trying to
alcoholic.
put it all on me? Fuck off.
Yeah, all right, go, fuck off, yeah. I'll be taking responsibility for being a drunken idiot. Huh?
What are you gonna take responsibility for? Nothing?
No, you.
I
Oh,
took
my fault.
responsibility.
Oh, my fault. Oh, my
Oh, I
fault.
didn't say that.
Please get out of my way. Please and thank you. Out of my way. And fuck off, okay?
Walk us through this. Walk us through this. What happened?
Have you ever been in a Ralph boss battle?
A Ralph boss battle?
I have. It was like Bowser.
I've asked for it.
It was
I
like
can't
Bowser.
get it.
Ralph fucking got me.
Well, because a lot of people say, like, and I asked you this off the record, but I think people would want to know. You were a trained MMA guy. You were in decent shape at the time.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just kick Ralph's ass?
Guy didn't want to get arrested.
But he was, like, clearly drunk and belligerent. You wouldn't get arrested.
I didn't think of that.
No?
No.
Is it true what he said? Because you guys went for sushi the next day. He said you curled up in a ball on the floor and cried like a bitch.
No.
What happened exactly?
I just screamed in the room.
Yeah.
Ah, like a lion. Like fucking like... Woo, like a wolf.
Like a wolf.
I just howled. I screamed.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Two more questions.
And then I tried opening the back door, and it was like a balcony. And then I'm like, I could jump over.
No.
Thank God I didn't jump, bro.
Oh, fuck.
It was like third floor. Oh, third floor is not too bad. I was out of state. Like
Ralph almost sunsetted you then.
Ralph would have murdered me.
You think so?
No, Ralph wouldn't. No.
He wouldn't do that to you, bro?
The moment he saw me scream...
Maybe if there was a bottle of... Maybe if you were in between him and a bottle of Makers, then you would have got sunset.
No, to be fair, when he was like, gonna fight me, when I started screaming,
Yeah.
he stopped me. He went, what the fuck? Like, this is not gonna work. Like, he folded. So to be, like, fair with him.
Okay, this is the number one most asked question of any question.
Oh, no.
Why in Miami did you dye your hair purple?
Listen. I was doing stuff at that moment where it was like, do anything to be, like, entertaining. Like,
yeah.
It was like, the audience, you had control of my life. And I almost even bought a ferret at one point. Like, me, Alex, and fucking Failure, like, we should buy, like, a ferret. Imagine having, like, a van with a ferret running around. Wouldn't that be great, RRL? You know? Yeah. A ferret. And it was, like, the purple hair thing was, like, purple dragon. And then we could all dye our hair different colors. Let's fucking go. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So the question would be, why wouldn't you do it? You know?
Well, I'd give you the answer why. You guys have a very right-wing audience that's very against homosexuality. And I'll just say this, to be fair. If your hair dyed purple and Ralph dyed bright blonde, you guys look like a bunch of flaming homos.
That's too, like, come on. Like...
That's reality.
This fucking nigger fucking just cornered me.
It's true though, bro. The hair was purple, right? Bro. The hair was purple, bro. I was like,
that was a corner.
I'll let you out.
That was
I'll let you out of this corner. Look. I'll let you out. Look. I want to ask you one more thing about Miami. We're out of it after this. We'll take a break. We'll take a smoke break. But
chat, don't even.
There's we've been here, what, 4 or 5 days now?
Yeah.
We've been drinking the whole time. We've been smoking the whole time. We've been working. We've been making stuff.
Yeah.
How would you compare the experience working with us to the experience in Miami?
Like, in terms of what?
Well, like in terms of, like, everybody here is also drinking. Everybody here is also high. But we're actually making the stuff every day. Do you know what I mean?
But you're trying to, like, lead me, you know?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, Andy.
You know?
A little bit, Andy.
I'll say this. This is all I'll say about that is you have been pretty, like, this guy with his ideas and his writing on, like, you know, he writes like, these fucking things, these plans, and he writes it like it's almost autistic. No offense. Yeah. He writes complete or not complete. Like he doesn't write NA or like he literally fully writes not complete as a fucking word. He doesn't write NC. So it's like complete. I'm like, wait, so you delete the whole word complete and then write not complete? Like,
I don't know. That sounds pretty autistic to me, buddy.
Yeah, you know, chat.
I don't know. But look, all I'll say is this. At least things are getting completed. And that's the most important thing. And I really appreciate you doing this interview and sitting down with us. You're being an excellent sport. But it's at this time we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come in with a few more questions on some different stuff. And it's going to be fantastic, folks. We'll see you. Next time on the finale of Behind the Stutter. The revelations are intense regarding Ethan Ralph, Faith Vickers. Did Andy flag down say no to Gino? And the fan questions will be answered. All this and more on the finale of Behind the Stutter.